Welcome to the Dawg Chug with your hosts, Andy Manchin and Roger First. Today is a very special Halloween edition of the show with special guest Max Hill, the Bengals fan, and Bill Petrello. Sponsored by Homage and Underdog Fantasy and presented by Network 216. It's not a trick, it's not a treat. This is the Dawg Chug.
Wow, great job, Ross. That was awesome. Who do you contract out to do that? Like the voice guy you're paying to do this is amazing.
I mean, you don't want to know the kind of budget the Dawg Chug has. If Network 216 finds out, they're gonna ask for some.
Yeah.
How the hell are you guys doing? What a week it's been.
Doing pretty good. My 3-year-old's very excited about Halloween, so he's just wearing his costume every day, running around, and he keeps asking me what I'm going to be, and I don't even know yet.
I am not going to get to go to the game this week because apparently, since we did trick or treating with my brother and sister-in-law on trick or treating day, it's become a tradition. It's 1 year; it's become a tradition. So now I have to go trick or treating year 2.
Wow.
So I have to sell my seats.
Man.
Yeah, I'm probably not going for the same reason. I'm doing some kind of trick or treating.
Can we make sure like trick or treating does not fall on a Browns game next year? That'd be nice. Can we do that?
It's my wedding anniversary. It's Halloween. My boys, we're going to Talmadge, Monroe Falls, Cuyahoga Falls. My kids hit it. They scored big time. My wife has relatives in Talmadge. We're going there tomorrow night. We're going to Monroe Falls Saturday, and then Saturday trick or treat here. My 2-year-old calls it trick or ween.
Wow,
man, you know all the tricks.
Well, speaking of kids, my son, he's 3 weeks old now, and he wanted to make tonight his first post-birth Dawg Chug appearance.
Second.
Wow.
You made an appearance when you were out.
Oh, sorry about that. I didn't even realize you set that up. That's amazing. I'm misinformed. But he's making his second appearance. He wanted to interview me about the state of the Browns. So, Weston, we have the device that can read your thoughts. Whenever you're ready, you wanted to come on and talk for a couple minutes. So let's go.
Correction, you begged me to come on because you saw how shitty your ratings have been, and I'm the only good part of the Dawg Chug since Ed left.
Okay, maybe I did ask if you'd jump on, but thought it'd be cool to have your first appearance. I guess it's your second appearance, and realize now that you've been born, it was so much fun getting to hold you while we watched the game this past Sunday.
Again, correction. You were so focused on the game and your dumb phone, you forgot I was even there. By time you realized I was in the basement, my diaper was so full of shit, I felt like I just watched 5 episodes of the Dawg Chug back to back to back to back to back.
Oh my God, you're funny. But we did watch the game together, and despite the ending, the Browns played hard and gave a valiant efforts.
No, they lost. They're a bunch of losers. I can see the appeal being an enormous loser yourself, but there's no victory because they've made it close. They, like every other week and every other season, found a way to lose. Let's move on.
Move on? What, just give up a football game I love watching?
I get that you don't have much going on and don't really like going outside or spending time with your family, so I get that you don't want to give up football, but how about choosing a team that's actually entertaining to watch, like the Bills?
You can't just change your loyalty to whatever team is winning.
Why not? Browns blow every week. Can you imagine how much fun it must have been to watch when Bills kicked the Chiefs' ass a couple weeks ago instead of getting obliterated by your former coach?
Yeah, but so you don't understand. I'm a Browns fan. It's in my blood. When they win, it's all going to be completely worth it.
They won't. They suck. They've sucked for the majority of your entire life against all odds. Even though Jags luck into a decent season every now and then.
Okay, but what if we suck? I mean, I love the Browns just like I love you, Weston. What am I supposed to do? Stop loving you if you end up struggling at some point in your life?
Of course I'm going to suck. I have your horrible genes inside me, and even worse, you've decked out my nursery in Browns gear so I'll get to stare at that stupid shit every fucking day of my life while my poor brain is developing. I struggle to see how you can describe that as love. If you actually love me, you'd have my crib decked out in Josh Allen sheets, and more to the point, you wouldn't have waited so your origin would cease to exist after you died, off which will likely be in the next couple years.
Yes. Look, I know you're trying to be funny for the podcast, but I do love you, and I love the Cleveland Browns, and that love is unconditional. Do you have anything else you want to say before we move it along?
A request actually. Do you think next time Browns blow a game you could not sob uncontrollably in bed? I'm 3 weeks old and need my sleep, but for fuck's sake, here I am, a baby that makes one noise and I can't even hear myself think because my loser father is crying over some fucking football team. Maybe stay downstairs until you get your shit together.
All right, Weston, fine. We'll stay downstairs. Thank you for coming on. I hope it's a long time before you come on because you're kind of an asshole. All right.
Wow.
Well, what do you guys think?
He hasn't changed one bit.
He's unruly.
So who does he get that from? You or your wife?
I see pictures. He looks so innocent.
Or your daughter? Or he might be getting it from your daughter.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm a nice guy. I think Heather's pretty nice. I don't know what happened here, but it is what it is.
He's a little soft. What's that?
I will continue loving him just like I'm going to continue loving the Browns. And fuck being a Bills fan. Come on. Can't do that.
The nuns used to, he's a little sabidon. That's what the nuns used to call us. A little sabidon. A little wise guy is what he is.
He is a little wise guy. Anyway, thank you, Weston, for coming on. That was fun. But let's get to the Dawg Chug update because that's what everyone's really looking for. We're going to update all of our viewers with what's going on in Cleveland sports and football. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let's get started. Ross, I think you are up.
Yeah. All right. This past week, a photo of several members of the University of Wisconsin women's volleyball team were leaked with them posing topless. Tonight, they expect an unusually large attendance as they face number 1 ranked Nebraska at home in the field house in Wisconsin. A photo of the Dawg Chug crew naked was recently leaked too, so we expect to have our lowest viewed show ever.
It's going to be hard to do. Roger.
The Pittsburgh Steelers found themselves down 6 against the Miami Dolphins with about 8 minutes left and is giving their rookie quarterback a golden opportunity to prove himself. He actually led a drive to the Miami 15-yard line before throwing an interception and blowing any chance they had at a comeback. But wait, game not over. The defense rallies, gets the ball back with 2:31 left, and once again, Kenny Pickett, tiny hands and all, marches down the field to the Miami 25-yard line before throwing, shocker, another INT. Steelers lose. You know what? This is less than a joke. It's not really a joke, but it's a chance for me to proclaim how fucking happy I am the Steelers drafted a Smurf-handed quarterback.
Roger, that was well done. You got like every word. That was awesome. Love it. All right. Officials made a strange call at a critical point in the game when Baltimore Ravens jumped over the line before the ball was snapped, and the officials huddled up and determined one of the Browns players reacted by moving. And since he was on the other side of the line, they determined the penalty was somehow against Cleveland. So our player reacts to what should have been a foul against them, and we're somehow at fault. That would be the equivalent of if, let's say, Mike Prefer, the special teams coordinator of the Cleveland Browns, was one of the worst coordinators for 3 seasons, consistently fails to have the Browns ready to play special teams at every level. And then in response to this, the Browns decide to fire him. And on the drive home, while he's going through an intersection, a drunk driver runs a red light, causing Mike to swerve to avoid the collision. And the police huddled up and determined it was Prefer's fault for failure to control a vehicle. Ross.
Oh boy, a little dark there. After the Browns lost to the Baltimore Ravens, players could reportedly be heard arguing inside the locker room. Turns out this was just a giant misunderstanding, as what the media actually heard was Nick Chubb talking with his bank, who called to dispute some charges on his credit card, and nobody didn't realize his normal voice sounds like a guy screaming and yelling.
That's true. I've never heard Nick Chubb's voice. That's probably what he sounds like. Roger.
Browns have lost middle linebacker Jacob Phillips for the season after he suffered a pectoral injury last week against the Baltimore Ravens. The same Cleveland Browns gurus that earlier in the season said it was okay that we lost Anthony Walker because we have Jacob Phillips ready to step in and play at a higher level are now saying, thank Christ I don't have to watch Jacob Phillips play another snap this season. You know what? It might be time to reevaluate your position on complaining about Mary Kay Cabot and getting all your Browns info from a silly podcast.
Very good point. Deshaun Watson and his lawyers went on the offensive, seeking sanctions for the latest lawsuit against the quarterback in what they call a sham. Now, they included text messages, and while the Dawg Chug has zero thoughts on how this all should play out, we have one simple request. Hey, Deshaun, you think you can keep Rusty Harden on retainer? I know a couple sham refs that you're going to need to seek sanctions from in a couple weeks when you take the field. They don't like us, and they'll rewrite the rules to try and stop our destiny. And that is the Dawg Chug update. Thank you, everyone. Great job. That was fun.
Where's our soundboard?
It's there. The soundboard wasn't even laughing. I don't know what's going on.
I read those out of order, didn't I?
It doesn't matter. I expect a few boos. So next time, make sure that Dawg Chug board is booing. All right. Now we're going to have on Ross, one of your friends, right?
Yeah, it's a buddy of mine from college. He's a Bengals fan. The Dawg Chug would love to have opposing fan bases on because we're a show that likes to, shit talk, make fun of people, not just talk about all the same stuff you hear on all the other podcasts. So excited to welcome on Ken Blunt.
How's it going, Ken?
Ken,
well.
What's going on?
How you fellas?
Good. We got beer.
Good. I like your shirt. Must be fun getting to go to a Super Bowl.
This is from '88, but yeah, it was that was fun to watch.
See a little Icky Wood shuffle. Was that Icky? Yeah. Huh?
It was Icky.
Yeah.
And my man Stanford Jennings taking the second half kickoff to the house. So I grew up with him and his daughter, my preschool. So it was a good year.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
So we have a big game coming up on Monday between two teams. You are huge Bengal fans. We are unfortunately Brown fans. What's your prediction?
I think the Bengals take this one. The Browns are reeling in the wake of no Deshaun for 11 games, but I think they're finding their rhythm. Burrow's had a little too much time the last couple weeks and just starting to find those holes. So bring it on, but
he hasn't beat the Browns yet.
I know he hasn't, and I think he's getting annoyed. So,
so this is his revenge game is what you're predicting.
Yeah, I think this is his revenge game. So
what happens if Denzel Ward plays this game? Does that scare you at all?
No. No. If they come out like they did, last week was the first time Zach Taylor's scripted 15 worked probably ever. So if they can if they score one touchdown in the first three possessions, I'm good.
Nice. They did that was an ass whooping last week. You guys put on
Yeah, it got a little scary at the end of the second half, but I thought they were gonna only be up 7 after 350 yards passing, but we held it together. Second half defense out of the Bengals is pretty wild.
How hard has it been maintaining your loyalty of being a Bengals fan throughout the years? My son obviously just pointed out how much we suck. Was there ever a point you were like, man, I don't know if this is worth it anymore. I got to pick a different team?
No, it was never allowed. I was born into season tickets, and then after the 2003 season, that was when my dad had enough. So 35 straight years of pain and suffering, less 2 seasons. But you kind of just like the Browns. You kind of relish in the suck, but a couple good years. 2005, I thought, that's probably the first year where I threw like legitimate temper tantrum, not understanding why we lost after Carson's knee, or was that died. But no, I've always stuck with them. It's it's like what you're talking. It's tradition, right, with Halloween, and tradition's watching the Bengals with my dad. So it's been a fun ride.
Nice.
You know what, though? Through those lean years where you always had the Browns games look forward as W's.
True.
2002, 3, 4.
Yeah.
So bad.
That was like probably the roughest. At least in the like 90s, it was busted draft picks and like freak injuries, and then 2000 to like 2003 was just like actual living hell.
Yeah. So when I was in college, I had to spend one more quarter to like minor in business or something I wanted to do. So I had a room with 4 guys I knew a little bit, but I didn't know that well. They were all huge Bengal fans. And I think the home opener was the Browns Bengals. They were shit talking me, I don't know, for like a month leading up to this game. Finally, it's time to play the game. I'm sitting like in the corner. They're all like ready to beat me up or whatever. I'm by myself watching a Browns game with a bunch of Bengal fans. And they opened the game with back-to-back delay of penalty. And it was the funniest thing. They were like, they were so excited they were going to kick our ass. And then when they did that, they're all like, we suck again. And we got this one. And we did beat them. And I just had to stay there silent, like looking at the ground because they would have all beat me up. But yeah, that's not easy to be a Bengal or a Browns fan. So I respect it. And I hope we have a good battle on Monday.
Yeah, I do too. Go ahead.
One of our viewers asked where you went to college, Andy.
I went to a college down south, Southern Ohio. You probably have never heard of it.
It's our great fan, Jessica. Piping in on you.
Maybe.
There's like a Court Street or whatever, but I don't even remember the name of the college. So
Think they party there and stuff.
They have a good Halloween.
There you go.
Perfect. That's
a fun town.
It is a fun town.
Yes, it is. Best holiday.
Oh yeah, well, I gotta ask: is what do you think of Skyline Chili?
Oh, that's the ultimate food group in the food pyramid in my life. So
this is where I'm agreeing with him. You get when you live there, you become it.
Yeah,
breakfast, lunch, dinner, hangover food, what like late night snack. There's really not a bad time to have it.
Order extra to go, just so you can eat it cold the next morning.
And then I know,
drunk.
I know Mr. Ken Blump here. He loves the the day after refrigerator coney.
Oh yeah, it's the best. I'm on the refrigerated Cholito now. That's actually even better. But oh yeah, 3 conies to go. Put them in the fridge. That's breakfast after a night out.
Nice. All right. Do you have a beer that you like as much as Great Lakes Nosferatu in Cincinnati?
I do have a beer. I don't have beers tonight. I have a very special drink though. I have my own bourbon. It's we have a place in Cincinnati that you go and craft your own bourbon and you name it. Mine is named Soup and Bourbonade. So I've had a few of those tonight.
Being a Bengals fan, you need a place like that. Craft your own bourbon.
Yeah, they make you drink. Play calling.
We can relate.
Yeah, I get that.
Next time I come down, I want to have some soup and bourbonade. Was that what?
There you go. Yeah, you can come on down. Yeah, I can ship you some too. We can. You can blend your own. They ship. It's good to go.
How much of that did you make?
Just a bottle. They you make like it's like you use like half milliliter and milliliter samples of these different types of bourbon that they produce, or rapid age, I should say. They don't produce the bourbon. And then you put it together. They do some math and they pour you a bottle and away you go.
Huh, nice. Well, that sounds
awesome. It's a lot of ex-scientists that figured it out. It's like 10 minutes from my house. It's pretty cool.
Well, we do like to shit talk on the Dawg Chug, and I think we have
I'm ready.
Some shit talking. Ross, let's get us started.
Yeah, I've got a handful of roasts here for you. Just of the Bengals, maybe the Bengals fans a little bit. Sorry, I'm a little sick. But here we go. I've got to give it to Bengals, they have a lot of weapons. They got Joe Burrow's smarts, Jamar Chase's athleticism, and of course, Joe Mixon's right fist.
Ouch.
Bengals fans are known for being some of the worst fans in the NFL. They historically do not sell out games, and the only thing they want to do is talk about their shitty Reds and why Pete Rose is a saint.
Nice.
Oh, no.
Bengals owner Mike Brown was recently spotted at a McDonald's yelling at a store manager. He couldn't believe the McDouble cheeseburger went up in price 20 cents, and they were out of Happy Meals for Zach Taylor.
Cheapskate.
And that's what I got.
I'll see your Joe Mixon bad choice and raise you about 27 Deshaun Watsons.
Yeah, that's a pretty
fair.
easy collateral.
Mike
Right.
Brown's cheap, but I'm pretty sure he still hits a 16 seeing a dealer's 10, unlike Jimmy Haslam. What's with the GMs? It's like at least Mike Brown takes it in the chest and just makes the bad decisions with his own money. Haslam just like gives it to somebody else and then just lets them ruin his own money. Like if I'm going to lose money like that, I at least want to make the call.
It was like, I think after we fired Hugh Jackson, wasn't he paying like 3 coaches
Oh, it was
at the same time?
At the same
I
time.
mean, what?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, how do you did he not watch Tennessee football to know Hendon Hooker is like potentially his next draft pick? I mean, the Browns are not out of the running for the first pick next year.
Ooh.
Sold the Tennessee,
Stop
by
it.
the way.
Stop.
Tennessee guy, he sold the franchise for a molester, but that's all right.
You mean the Houston Texans will be in line for the first pick this year?
I mean, but they got the draft picks to go. They'll be like the Jets with 4 first-rounders. Or they'll
Well,
be
they
like
got
the Browns
ours.
movie. Yeah, Kevin Costner is going to end up picking for the he'll be the celebrity that chooses the Texans' first rounder.
sorry, Baby Manch wants to weigh in on the phone here. So, Baby Manch, whoa, this device sucks. By the way, I'm gonna have to talk to you. Okay, Baby Manch, you're up.
Do you know why I didn't suggest you become a fan of the AFC team that made it to the Super Bowl? The Cincinnati Bengals. They're still shitty.
Okay, that's good.
He's
Got something right.
Good one, Baby
kid-
Manch.
They're still shitty.
kid's gonna wear Steeler gear just to irk you.
Yeah, I don't know though. With Kenny Pickett throwing back-to-back interceptions to blow that game,
Oh,
that was so much fun to watch.
it was a week. We've been there. I've seen it. I know what it feels like.
It's good to see them going through it. I don't know. I mean, you know that makes me a loser, but I'm happy to wear the loser crown on this one. They've been annoyingly able to wither so much. So to see them faltering, I love it.
There you go. Yeah, they. I don't know. They're going to change quarterbacks every other quarter. I feel like.
No, good. I hate all their quarterbacks, so I love
Yeah.
it. Well, who is going to be the player that you worry about the most in this game, and who's going to be the player that fucks up the Browns' chances of winning on Monday?
Who you asking me?
Yeah.
Oh, who?
Yeah.
So you're saying who am I worried about on the Bengals roster or the Browns roster?
Who are you worried about the most on the Browns roster, and then who is going to fuck up our Monday night as Browns?
I mean, I'd be worried about the run. Just it's Monday Night Football in Cleveland. Why wouldn't you run it down somebody's throat? But who's going to fuck it up? So who on the Browns roster or the Bengals roster is going to spoil your night?
Give us nightmares when we sleep Monday night. So who in your
Joe Burrow. I mean, it doesn't matter. Who's he going to throw to? I'd love to see just a Hayden Hurst game, but that's just I think he runs hard. He's had some big downs for the Bengals, but he needs a couple touchdowns. He needs like a Kelsey. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I love Kelsey. I get it. He's a Cleveland guy and a Bearcat, but why don't we go Hayden Hurst 5 touchdowns and just run it up?
All right.
Ambitious.
Let's come up with a fun little bet that we can settle up on next Wednesday over this
Next
game.
Wednesday.
Um,
Next Wednesday.
You can pop in and you can pay the piper, or if I lose, you can watch me do something drinking related.
Well, I think we do what we talked to. Well, I think we incorporate something we talked about briefly before this thing was wherever the 100th game is, loser of this game has to travel to the 100th game. Well, or has to buy the beers at the 100th.
Okay.
How about that?
All
That's
right.
the only way you're getting me there.
So yeah, we're either in Cleveland or Cincinnati.
Right. Next
So you're
year.
saying if the Browns win on Monday, even though they're 3.5-point dogs, if they win,
At home.
I get to come to Cincinnati and you have to pay for all my beers?
Or if he comes to Cleveland. Either way, wherever the game is, he pays for the
Yeah,
beer.
I'll come up
Oh,
there. You got to buy my ticket, though, if I come to Cleveland.
Deal.
Andy's got really good seats too.
As long as it's not.
You're
in the
not
dog
married,
pound, I'll
are
go.
you, Ken?
No,
You're not married, are you, Ken?
no. We can do what we
I
want.
didn't think so. Hey, honey, I'm driving to Cincinnati. It ain't flying.
Well, we have 3 people that can represent. We'll figure it out.
I'll be up there.
All right. I love it. It sounds good. I hope we have a great game on Monday during trick or treat.
Yeah.
I have to watch from home.
Let's get one of those shootouts going. I'm down for that. Doesn't matter how many we win by. Let's just win.
Do you remember one more thing. Do you remember the 2007 shootout that the shitty Browns and the shitty Bengals had?
Yeah,
Where-
like the 51-45 or whatever. I know the Browns won, but like, yeah, that shit was crazy.
That was
Yeah.
the craziest game. My parents invited me on a cruise with the entire family, and I'm like, I can't do it. I'm going to miss 2 weeks of football. No way. And it was an amazing cruise, the Mediterranean, and like 11 days. And then I'm
You do
like,
have
well,
nice seats, don't you?
I didn't have these seats then, but I'm thinking at the end of the day, like, what are the odds that the first 2 games will even be in Cleveland? Like, they might be away, and I'm giving up a trip, that to not miss a Browns game. So ultimately, I decided to go, and then of course it turned out to be the Steelers and the Bengals, which sucked. But after the Steelers obliterated us, I was like, oh, thank God I went on this trip. Thank God. And then for the second week, we had to like watch the game on Yahoo, like play-by-play we had to go up to the buffet and basically just sit at a table so we could like keep refreshing the phone to tell us what the last play was. And it was the most insane game I've ever, I didn't watch it, but every time I refreshed, it was like another touchdown. It's crazy. What a fun experience that was. Anyway.
Yeah, no, those are good ones. Who was on I can't remember the quarterbacks that game. Well, obviously Palmer.
Derek Anderson and
it had to be Palmer.
Carson Palmer.
Yeah, it was DA, not
Ocho
Billy Holt.
Cinco and Braylon Edwards had like ridiculous, like 3 touchdowns each or something stupid.
Charlie Fry was traded days before that game, and Derek Anderson was
Right.
No one could stop anyone. It was amazing. Anyway, hopefully we'll have a game like that on Monday. That'll be fun.
Right.
Looking forward to it.
There you go.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Thanks, guys.
Ken, nice to meet you.
Likewise. Cheers.
Cheers. Go
Cheers.
Browns. Go Bengals.
Go Browns.
Go Browns.
Good game.
Don't go Bengals.
Yeah, go Bengals. Who dey?
All right.
He's
That
friendly.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah, he was a good guy.
Yeah.
Who day thing though.
That's our first opposing team guest we've had.
I mean, I don't
believe,
know.
in
I-
over
I'm
a
not-
year of the Dawg Chug.
I don't even think Ed's really a fan of the Browns, and he was on many episodes. He talked more shit about the Browns than anyone ever.
No, we talked shit about the city of Cleveland.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
But he always was like talking about how great Josh Allen was. I don't know. Anyway, let's get to some fun. Roger, I believe you prepared something amazing. We haven't done one of these in a while. I'm really looking forward to this. Usually you share these.
Well, top 10 drought.
I got the top 10.
Usually you share these or I help you write them. So you did all this on your own. So I'm so excited to laugh at these because I have no idea what you're about to read. Hopefully you don't say anything that offends the network.
Well, Andy, everybody's just so down on the Browns. And so what I got this is from the home office. Our home office is in Chugwater, Wyoming. And these are the top 10 positive takeaways from the Cleveland Browns 2022 season. The top 10 positive takeaways from this season. Number 10, 9 out of every 10 painters hats that season ticket holders received from the Browns as a gift have been donated to homeless shelters. So that's positive. That's a good thing right there.
Keeping the homeless.
Number 9.
Love it.
Number 9 is one more moral victory, and Kevin Stefanski will win the Moral Victory Coach of the Year award. So that we got that going.
Coming right up.
No, number 8. This week's Monday Night Football game versus Cincinnati Bengals is the episode where they all get off the island. So, number 7, Joe Woods has returned all the missing negatives from a never-released 1976 photo shoot of Dee Haslam and the girls of the Southeastern Conference. So, we know why Joe Woods got a job. Number 6, any unused 2022 Browns tickets can be redeemed at any drive-thru beverage store in Cleveland for a Natty Daddy.
Oh, I love that.
Oh,
A Natty Daddy.
Love it.
If you said fuck going to that game, go get a Natty Daddy. Number 5, Nick Carnes' Browns poems are starting to feature Donovan Mitchell. Number 4, Amish people don't want Joe Woods fired. The Amish want
that crowd.
Number 3, the custodial staff in Berea have finally got rid of the stench left by Freddie Kitchen's beef jerky dehydrator. So that's good news right there.
That'd be horrible.
Number 2, Nick Chubb is as fresh today as he was in August. So there's enough. And the number 1 positive takeaway from the Cleveland Browns 2022 season is it's still all fucking Baker Mayfield's fault.
Yeah. Fuck him.
Fuck Baker Mayfield. Wow.
And that's tonight's top 10. I'm Roger First in Cuyahoga Falls, and you're not.
What's that?
That was awesome. I've been too negative. You've just reset my mind that there's
Right.
so much good that's been
A lot
happening.
of positives to look at. I had 15. I had to trim it down.
I wish you can we get the other 5 like in a bonus episode next week?
That's for the Patreon members.
Yeah. No, they were hard. They were
For
harsh.
$5, we'll send you 5 more top 5s.
All right. We're gonna bring out the feature
We'll
guest
save them.
first. We got to do a little bit of maintenance or whatever. Sherry, are you available? Let's see. We're gonna add her to the stream.
It's gonna be a late one
There he
tonight.
is.
Sherry, welcome to the
Hey.
podcast.
Hello.
You're almost beating Dan for most.
I know. Like, I
appearances.
can't leave my house on Wednesday.
All right. So every week we have you on so that we can do one of our homage ad reads, and you can rate us. What is your? Can you describe what your?
Oh, my scale. It's the antacid scale of rating, which is 0 being the best and 10 being the absolute worst.
Because if it's 0, then you don't need any antacid.
Yeah, because you don't have any heartburn, no reflux. You're good to go.
So you've graded me a couple times. You've graded Ross. You've graded Roger, I think, multiple times. Now we're going to turn the tables. You're going to do an homage ad read right now.
Me?
Yeah.
They can read.
We're going to judge you.
Oh, no. Oh, man.
We gave
You didn't see this coming.
No. I don't even own anything from Mom.
You should have.
Look at our shirts.
Well, you can see how nice they look on us. And
They do look
Roger
really
and Ross
nice on you
both
guys.
like, we should give her a heads up. This is a dick move. And I'm like, no, we're going the dick move.
Oh,
No,
no. I'm going to do so bad.
you're going to do great. You're going to get 10 antacids, which is awesome.
Oh, my God.
You're
I'm
more-
going to get 10. I'm going to get like a baker's dozen.
All right. So describe to our fans why homage is the best shirt of Cleveland apparel that they can spend their money on.
What I've taken away from you gentlemen is that not only are they clever and clean designs, they're really soft. That's the big takeaway. And Ross is rocking the hoodie, which I heard is one of the best he owns, really.
They're amazing.
Yeah,
The best.
amazing.
They sell themselves.
And then, of course, Raj rocking his pierogi power over there. But yeah, so they're soft. They're well designed.
Well designed.
You can impress your neighbors
You can impress your neighbors.
Yeah.
and potentially your coworkers.
Potentially. Why potentially?
Well, I've gotten compliments on this one. I'll tell you that.
The color looks great on you.
Just to be clear, if you wear homage to work, all of your coworkers are going to be impressed
Right. They're all going to want to sit next to you.
and feel how soft it is.
Yeah, you might have a lot of unwanted touches that day, but
Yeah.
people got to feel how soft it is.
Don't wear homage if you don't want unwanted touches.
Right.
It's the only time it might not make sense to buy them.
Be sure to check the tag of the person's shirt in front of you.
All right. That was, first of all, I'm just going to go first. You get 0 antacids. That was amazing. I literally just bought more homage.
Excellent.
Ross.
Oh man, am I like the Simon Cowell then?
Oh man, go
Okay,
for
she's
it. I'm
getting-
sitting
she's
down.
getting 7 of them. I appreciate it, but unfortunately, telling us that you don't own it.
Yeah, I
makes it a
could have
little-
kept that to
makes it
myself.
a little less genuine. I didn't give you
I'm
a
in the
10.
market. I'm in the
I give you
market.
a 10 because the 3 of us are wearing it and we're on air, and obviously we love it.
You're reading it all wrong. The fact that she knows how awesome it is despite not owning it just means it's so
High
apparent.
quality.
Yeah, how high quality this is. So, Roger, what grade are you getting?
It's tough for me because I'm the champ. I'm the champ. And she didn't mention any man boobs. She didn't mention Sunday dinners, but she still hit it out of the yard and beat me. It's still applause meter all the way up on it. I got to give it
How
to her.
about I put my order in tonight?
It's like a hat.
homage brown shirt.
You've
I
been
need
on
it like a.
episodes, you should probably get an homage shirt.
I have to tonight.
I'm giving her like a Tic Tac size antacid on that.
So how many is that? 1, 3, 5? Is it 1?
There you go.
Yes.
Antacid coupon with the Patreon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. All right. Well, Sherry, that was awesome. What do you think? You heard from the crotchety Bengals fan. What do you think is going to happen on Monday night?
Well, I think I'm actually going to be at that game. So statistically speaking, the games that I've been to this year, they have won. So
MC.
MC's putting pressure on us to buy you an homage shirt.
I
We gotta
that's very
I gotta
funny.
get. We gotta
Can't get away
give
with
her a
this free
homage
content
t-shirt.
So
forever.
it's Halloween and
Hey,
it's
listen,
gonna be
MC.
very Clevelandy in the weather department.
The fact that Christmas Sale gets released like the day before the game, will that play into the outcome at all?
I'm gonna go with no.
See, I gotta give you 8 antacids on that one.
Oh,
Answer.
damn.
Fans are gonna be rowdy, is the point, and we're gonna give energy.
Well,
that the players are gonna.
They're always rowdy. I mean, we're always rowdy. We're a passionate fan base.
We're gonna be Christmas Sale rowdy, which is
Oh,
a
wow.
different level of passion, and they're gonna absorb all that energy and they're gonna play their hearts out. So
Yeah.
we're gonna win on
For Christmas
Monday.
sale.
And we have to see all the effort that Miles put into decorating his house this year. I heard it's spectacular.
They already revealed that during the game against Baltimore.
Oh, too soon.
The Stranger Things.
Right. Yeah, that was creepy. It's creepy.
One of my sources is his next door neighbor.
Oh, yeah?
I can't disclose, but I have a source.
Nice.
Ooh.
All right. Well, Sherry, thank you so much for jumping on. We might need you again if you can stay nearby.
I am not leaving this chair.
All right.
All right.
Go
great.
Browns. Let's
Go Browns.
we need a win.
Go Browns.
And
Sherry's
now,
awesome.
Sherry, she's the best. But
Yeah.
now I think it's time for our feature guest.
Wow.
And this one is a Browns fan, so that's why he gets the leg up.
Build up to it.
Roger, you bring him in.
This is a guy I've been talking to on Twitter for probably 2 seasons now. Bill Petrel. He was used to. I lost track of him because he changed his name. We're gonna have him talk about that. So why don't we bring in Bill?
Welcome, Bill. Welcome to the Dawg
All
Chug.
right, Bill.
Gentlemen, how you doing?
Good.
Great to
Looking
see you,
awesome.
Bill.
Oh, Roger, the top 10 list was phenomenal. That was
Thank
awesome.
you, man.
That was great.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done. And that hoodie does look good there, Ross, too. And I bet your wife likes the color, too.
Yep. Little
Yes.
throwback design.
All righty. Thanks for having me on, guys. This is fun. I've been, just as Rudy said, I've been waiting for this moment my whole life.
I love your Wild Thing in Dorn Major League.
Yes.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
So we were walking. My wife and I were walking in the mall, and it was sitting out front. I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? So I looked over, and it was verified by kind of one of the Las Vegas. It's got Sheen's autograph on it, and then it's got Corbin Burnson's autograph on it too.
Nice.
And so on the bottom, they also had like little playing cards. I don't know if you can kind of see the playing cards down at the bottom.
Yeah.
And so that was Father's Day gift.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Oh, man,
That's a nice.
That's sweet.
It's awesome.
Are you in the living room right now? Like that's up, it's like above basement level?
No, I'm in kind of in my little office. So it's
Okay.
office / a room for, when we have guests over and stuff like that. So
Nice.
That's in the words of Jeff Sindelar, that's a nice item. Man, is that nice?
It is. It's sweet. It
When
is
you talk
sweet.
about top 10 sports movies, Major League does not get mentioned enough.
There are so many good ones, whether if you want comedy, you want, seriousness or whatever, but there's just something about when Major League came out. And then it was written by the guy who wrote The Sting too, who's from Cleveland.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that
Paul
makes
Newman, The Sting. Yep.
That makes it even more fun. I mean, but it's just a fun. I mean, my gosh, we still use that now when we talk about the Guardians.
Oh yeah.
It captured the moment of the Indians, at that time, right before they built the Jake. I mean, the Jake was being built when that movie came out, and I was at a ball game. I remember I was at an Indians ball game. Carlos Baerga hit 2 home runs in the same inning from opposite sides of the plate, and I was in right field when he hit one from the left side. And like the movie just came out like right after that, I don't know. I did a lot of fucking acid back then, so I don't know if it was right after it, but smoked a lot of fucking dope. But it was somewhere in that time frame.
Allegedly.
It's such an iconic. I don't like. Okay, if we have our Cleveland blinders off, is it iconic? I think it is. Like Baby Manch, who hates Cleveland baseball, he even used.
I think it is.
He used the "they're still shitty" line earlier today. So.
Oh, baby man, that's awesome.
Yeah. He's an asshole.
He looks so innocent too. He's the cutest little guy, but the mouth on him.
Boy, I tell you. And how the heck did he get born with this idea of the Bills and Josh Allen? I mean, did either you or your wife kind of right over said Josh Allen? Josh Allen.
I mean, I'm not around my wife 24/7, but I wouldn't think she did that.
I don't know if she's a Bills fan or not.
We have a pediatrician an OB who are like way tech savvy. So I don't know.
I think why Andy was downstairs crying over the Browns, she was upstairs rooting for the Bills. Baby Manch is in there. And
I mean, the Bills weren't even playing last week, so you don't even make sense. You're acting a fool.
I understand.
Gosh, Robin, you got to get it together. Anyway, it's such a pleasure to have you on the Dawg Chug.
Yeah.
We're going to go right to Spit Sip Chug, which, in case you don't know, I'm going to read a statement. If you strongly agree, you're going to chug your beer. I see you have a beverage. We appreciate that on the Dawg Chug. You're going to take a chug, and you're going to explain why. If you strongly disagree,
grabbing a beer,
you're going to spit, and you're going to explain why. And then if you're somewhere in the middle, if you're like Roger, that can't make a decision, if you're frozen by indecision, you're going to sip, and you're going to explain why. Sound fun?
I'm all for it.
This isn't as good as Beerionaire. Beer.
Yeah.
But it's almost as fun.
Almost as fun. I can imagine.
All right. We're going to start off with statement number 1. Roger, we're going to start with you.
Great.
The Browns will trade away 2 of their players or more before the trade deadline on November 1st.
I'm going to sip.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's shocking.
And I'm sipping. You know what? People treat the NFL every year. We go through this. They look at the NFL trade deadline like they do the like baseball or basketball. Most players that get moved at the NFL trade deadline are players that franchises are pretty much done with, or a team's tanking. I don't see the Browns doing much. Maybe they move to. I don't know, man. It's just every year everybody anticipates the trade deadline in the NFL, and not much happens.
All right.
I'm sipping.
Bill.
I'm going to sip too.
There you go. See, that's a popular choice.
So I think we're all just trying to figure out, wrap our head why the Browns started 5 running backs on the roster this year, until obviously we had injuries and everything else. And to not play to Ernest and to really just, it's mind-boggling how you're wasting a spot like that, and hoping that somebody's going to all of a sudden be a great punt returner or kick returner for you, which is not going to happen. And so we had these. We know that we're not going to have any first or second round draft picks. I mean, you take a look at the draft picks that we're going to have the next couple of years. We're not drafting until what, 3rd round? So why don't you go ahead and start utilizing? Because I do think, didn't the NFL move up the trade deadline?
Yeah, they did.
So by moving it up, I wonder if a lot of teams now are going to be very active. And you're right, they may not be the big name players, but I do think because of all the injuries that have been happening this year, I think the Browns are going to start realizing, and I think it's going to happen. It depends on the win. If we win on Monday, maybe not. If we lose on Monday, I can guarantee you we're going to have 2 that are gone.
All right. Yeah, for me on this one, I mean, I know that the whole idea is to collect more draft picks. We traded a lot away. The guys we're talking about trading, I just don't think they're going to be very valuable to many NFL teams. I mean, Kareem Hunt is probably the one guy you might get maybe a 4th round pick, but honestly, what he showed, I don't even know that a team would really offer that at this point for his salary. So I don't know. I'm just going to spit on this one. I don't think we're going to move 2 players. One maybe, but Greedy Williams, no one's going to pay anything for Greedy Williams. You have him for what? The next 9 games? And that's it? Get a comp pick if he's worth anything after that. I'm spitting.
Right. People talk about Greedy Williams. You're not trading a cornerback when you're rotating cornerbacks at 5 different positions.
That's good.
I don't see him doing something like that.
You're not just going to give him away, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
And I don't think any team's really going to give you what he's worth. So, Ross.
Well, I'm going to do the Rodgers special and sip.
There you go. Told you it's a popular choice.
So it's a sip because, one, I do think Kareem Hunt's going. I have a conspiracy that he was the player yelling at coaches in the locker room. Because we didn't run the ball on 3rd and 2nd with Chubb and Hunt, he's probably bitching at them like, why the hell didn't you use either of us? It might not even been a selfish thing where he's saying I'm not getting enough touches, but we already saw him demanding a trade earlier in the year. I doubt that lingered. He's not getting the touches and at least showing he's valuable. So I think we'll trade him for even less than a 4th round pick at this point, because that's my theory. If he might actually been the guy that did that. But as far as getting another player traded, like, who on our roster do we want to trade that would get us anything in return? No one.
Right.
Yeah, no.
I mean, they floated Greedy out because some teams are desperate for corners. So they just want to say, oh, when this guy's healthy, he's decent. But I don't see us trading Greedy unless it's a 4th rounder or better. Like, we're better off keeping him with how often injuries are happening.
Right.
That's right. Okay. Let's move on to statement number 2. Donovan Mitchell with the Cleveland Cavaliers is off to an incredible start. With so many young talented players, the Cavs will have 3 All-Stars. Bill, we're going to start with you.
I'm going to have to sip on that one.
He's sipping. Nice.
I've really been impressed with how he's played. I mean, even tonight, he had like 13 points, and we still won by 11, and we didn't play that great. But as kind of taken over the point guard position for Garland, he's just doing a heck of a job getting everybody involved. I think between him, I think this might be Jarrett's turn to get a serious all-star piece. I don't know about Evan Mobley. This is going to be a very interesting thing to see how he looks like he's still trying to figure out where he's going to be in here now that you have another really good scoring option. There were a couple plays I thought tonight where Mobley looked great and his energy was awesome. And then there were a couple plays where he just looked like I don't know what to do. So I do think we're going to have 3. I wouldn't be surprised if we have 4 and throw Kevin Love in there. I cannot believe how Kevin Love is playing. I can't.
Yeah.
He's been on the team 8 years. Do you know right now I think he's the number 6 in terms of longevity for the history of the Cavaliers? Number 6.
Wow.
Right now.
Where was Varejao on that list?
Well, number 1 was
retirement.
Number 1, I think, is Zydrunas Ilgauskas.
Yeah,
I think Z was number 1.
Yeah, he never went anywhere else.
Would it be him and then yeah.
Wasn't there like a flirtation of Zydrunas joining our front office and then like I just never heard about it again? Like what happened with that?
Yeah, wasn't there something with his daughter or something? I can't remember. You're right. There was something afterwards because he had those 2 foot surgeries. So like the first, his rookie year, we didn't have him like his rookie year and then his third year because he had the 2 foot surgeries, and then we had him for 11 other. I think we had him for 12 years, something like that, 12, 13 years. That's crazy.
He was awesome.
He was super.
My parents got me like really close to the floor, and I was a younger guy at this point, but looking up and seeing a guy that tall, it was like blows your mind. Like you can't even comprehend. Like you see him on TV all the time and it seems like no big deal, but when you're actually seeing like how high you have to look up to see a guy that tall, it's mind blowing.
I piped his drain tile. He lived on Lake Road in Avon. A buddy of mine's a landscaper, and on a Saturday I went and piped some drain tile for him. And his flip-flops were in the garage. They're like this big, like this fucking big. And he come out, his mom's there. She's in a babushka, old world, like brought her from the old country, and she's tending the garden. And I'm thinking he's got to have people that do the garden. He's making his mom do the fucking garden. And I challenged him. He had a hoop in the driveway. I challenged him one-on-one. He patted me on my head. Big Z. That's my Z story.
Fuck you, Roger, for one-upping my story. Damn it. I'm going to keep you off this show. Anyway. All right. Let's move on to – oh, no, we gotta continue.
Keep going.
I have not. We haven't gotten around.
Round the horn.
Sorry. I am actually going to just chug on this one because – I'll explain that. So the Cleveland Cavaliers have 4 All-Stars. One of them is going to get shafted. 3 of them are going to be All-Stars. So we will have 3 at the end of the day.
Yeah,
they're doing.
I'm chugging as well.
Yeah,
it's going to be Mitchell, I guess Garland and Allen. I think Mobley is going to – it's not going to be his big stat year quite yet.
Yeah,
I think we're going to ride Allen because we're winning with the way we're doing things right now, and you're not going to see the desperation to use Mobley until we have to figure that out. Like whatever they're doing now is working out. We're making a bunch of threes. We have 2 big men. You're not going to have 2 big men getting 20 points apiece when we're shooting this many threes and making them. So right. I think Mobley's fine, but this isn't his all-star year.
I just want to send out a warning. It's mine XYZ actually posting a link. Do not click on that. That is going to go somewhere bad. Everyone, I know that probably looks good, but please do not click on that.
Wait, that's not our number 1 fan?
Hey, that's where our nude pictures are posted.
I sent them my social security number. What the hell?
That was the Halloween theme. Is that part of it? If we click on that, then we continue with the Halloween stuff.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I just want to
for more surprises.
We have to remember that like losing our other point guard is a huge disruption to this entire offense, how everything's supposed to flow. So I know Mobley is struggling a little bit, but when Garland comes back, everything is probably going to start, evolving and looking different. So anyway, someone's going to get screwed, but this offense is in great hands. And by the way, like the depth has been amazing so far. Like everyone is playing such good ball. Our coach is great. I'm a huge fan of the Cavs. How lucky are we, by the way, to go from the Guardians having this fun postseason run where we thought they were probably going to be mediocre. The day after they get eliminated, the Cavs start and they're now 3-1. Like
Right.
everyone's bitching about the Cavs, but like Browns. Sorry, everyone's bitching about the Browns, but like let's just think about how lucky we are to have like two amazing teams. Paving the way until the Browns figure things out, which might be a while, but stop complaining. Things are good in Cleveland. So I'm just trying to say.
Amen.
Where do we want to? Yeah, sorry.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm going to chug on it.
Sorry.
It's my turn, right?
Chugging.
I'm chugging.
I apologize. I forgot you. Yes. Having a bad show.
I think that you're gonna see the Cavs by the time December rolls around. We're getting Rubio back after December, like December, end of December, beginning of January. He's going to be huge getting him back. Giving Donovan, giving Garland time off. I think you're going to see the Cavs becoming like a popular team in the NBA where people are starting to love. Outside Cleveland. NBA fans love players more than they love teams. And you're going to see some NBA fans latching onto the Cavs and Donovan and Garland and the way they're playing basketball. And I think they're just going to be like just beating team pretty bad by then. You know what I mean? Winning regularly, where they're going to become household names. And that'll help get the all-star voting, from the fans outside of Cleveland. And I think we're going to see more than 3 at least all-stars from the Cavaliers for sure.
Best thinks you're going to say that they're going to hit a wall late in the season. How do you respond to that?
Shit, that son of a... that was last season, and they did hit a wall, and unfortunately so did the Guardians. Yeah. They'll never live that down.
I think one of the things that I think I've mentioned a couple times on the show that the Guardians, the Cavs last year, they might have had a problem with they went all in every, January, December game to the point they were worn out a little bit. Obviously injury factored in too, but I think they might not have realized to kind of scale it back a little bit. Today was a good example. Like the Stars didn't really, show out today. Like it was a team effort. Everyone did a good job. We won by 11. Awesome. I think there's something to that, Roger.
You know what? The other night, the bench had what did the bench score between 3 of them? Had like 40-some points.
Yeah.
When your bench is dumping 40 points, per game, hell, give me the Cavs every night. When your bench can come out and Kevin Love, like you said, Kevin Love is just. I mean, I beat the hell out of Kevin Love 2 years ago on Twitter. Yeah, I beat him down, and you know what? He stood up and he said, "You know what? Deservedly so." He said that in the media. I deserved it. I was whining, I was pouting, and blah blah. You know what, man? He's the veteran. I think that really holds it together. Kevin Love.
Here's what I think, and Andy, you brought this up. We are so lucky to have right now the Guardians and the Cavaliers because they play an old style of ball that we love. Yeah. The Guardians play the 1970s, 1980s style of ball that everybody in the Nationals, everybody in the national media is like, who plays this way anymore? And can the Guardians beat the Yankees in this way? Well, we could have. We just couldn't. We just had too many rookies, and then we
took them to the rope.
Yeah, right. But I mean, and then you look at the Cavaliers and the way that they share the ball and they move and nobody is stationary. I mean, those two teams are doing things the way that the game should be played. Right. And that's why we as a city should be embracing that a lot more.
100%.
Right. Because like Lenny Wilkins is
that's awesome.
Yep.
It's so awesome. How much more fun is it watching today's Cavs game than watching LeBron James?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love LBJ, but oh my gosh.
We'll win 60 games, but it's painful to watch regular season games. In the postseason, it was amazing, but I love the Cavs. Love everything you're doing. Love the Guardians. Love everything they're doing. Just give it time.
The Cavs.
Notice we don't say love the Browns, so.
All right, let's move it along.
Damn it.
What's wrong?
No, nothing. That was. Go ahead.
Okay. Kevin Stefanski can lose against Cincinnati, Miami, Bills, and Tampa, which I think would make our losing streak 7 games in a row, right? But he's still under 0 risk of being fired. I'm going to answer this one. Yeah, I'm chugging on this one. It doesn't matter what happens until Deshaun Watson's back. Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry are attached to the hip. They made this move together, and one cannot exist without the other. So until we see Kevin Stefanski judged with his quarterback that he went out and got, he is going to continue to be here. It doesn't matter what happens over the next 4 games. I don't think we're going to lose the next 4 games. But even if we do, it doesn't matter. He's still here, and he will be judged when we have our quarterback. Ross.
I'm spitting on it.
Ooh.
We got Jimmy Haslam here. You know what he does? He does whatever the hell he wants to do.
I forgot about that.
When we lose a lot, he gets mad and he fires people. He's going to fire everybody. He's going to trade Myles Garrett. No, I don't know if we'll do that. But he's going to fire everybody. He's going to blame it on them. Even though, I think Ken Carman, Anthony Lima said the Deshaun Watson chase was at all Andrew Berry and Stefanski. All it takes is has them to say, you know what? Screw these guys. Go home. That's it.
All right. Roger, you've heard 2 very compelling answers. Who do you think is right? And don't sip. If you sip, I'm gonna be.
I'm chugging with you, Andy.
That was gonna be a sip.
Oh, so that's how you feel about me, Roger. Okay, cool.
No, you know what it is? I got a conspiracy theory of my own. Nick Chubb, you know what? Honestly, Nick Chubb is touching the ball just as much as he normally does, but Nick Chubb isn't getting the miles put on him. Kevin Stefanski's still running the same offense that he would with Deshaun Watson, with Jacoby Brissett. Sunday, they ran a read option play where he faked the handoff to Hunt, and they did the lateral to Njoku, where if it's Deshaun Watson, he has the option number 3 of pulling that ball in and taking it around corner. Because if Brissett would have done that, he would have been gone for about 40, 50 yards down the sideline because there's nobody around the left end, which Deshaun Watson would take it. I have a conspiracy that they didn't fill the tackle position. I think that the front office and the coaching staff, the ownership, is looking at 222 as we're just going to cruise through this. They know Watson is going to come back and as an elite form. He hasn't played in a season and a half. And I think that everybody's – if Joe Woods hasn't been fired yet, nobody's fucking getting fired in Berea. I'm chugging with you, Andy.
All right. Bill.
Wow. I am not going to chug on this one. I'm going to have to – I'm really borderline, but I'm going to have to – and I hate losing another coach, but I'm going to be –
That's a great fit, man.
There we go.
So
the best fit I've ever witnessed.
It was the best fit ever.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. So here's my feeling on Stefanski. If we're going to judge him based when he has his true quarterback, okay, then I think we also have to judge him on how he's handled everything else up to having his true quarterback. So I think it's fair to judge him on how he handles the clock management, which is not great. How he handles coming out of halftime, which is not great. And I understand there's other coaches here, but he's the head coach. Understand that I don't like the fact that he stands there like a robot on the sidelines. This is a passionate game. Football is a passionate game. And I think when you look back at our coaches that we have loved and you know, whether they drive us crazy or not, we love Retigliano because he sat there and his heart was on his sleeve. You know, every coach that we had that we loved, there was something about them that just made us go, yes. And even if it was anger or if it was frustration or if it was pure joy, I get nothing from him. I get nothing from him when we get hosed by the referees. I want to just see him just throw down his clipboard and say, what the hell? But nothing like that. So I think it's fair to judge him on the other things other than having the quarterback, because the rest of the team is doing that. I mean, I don't know if the team has stopped playing for him or not, but I do think that the team has started to probably question and say, what's going on here? And if Hunt is truly sitting there saying, what the hell's going on, then that's on Stefanski because he's calling the plays. But I'll tell you, this is the other thing that I feel with this. you look at our draft. Do you realize that we drafted 12 defensive players the past 4 years under Barry in the first 3 rounds, and we drafted 3 offensive players? 12 defensive players. That's on Andrew Barry. And if we can't get this going on, then you have to start calling in and saying, hey, Andrew Barry, you know how everybody was saying, he plays chess while everybody else plays checkers, right? Well, he's losing at chess right now. Yeah. So if he wants to start winning at chess, then we need to start seeing a little bit more. Now, I do like the fact that maybe he started to put the fire underneath some of these players with the threat of trading and whatnot. Maybe that's helping. But this is all Stefanski, and I think it's fair to judge him on all of that stuff. And even though you're right, he hasn't had his quote-unquote quarterback, and I think you're right. I think they are looking at 22 as saying, hey, this is a lost season. But every time you say it's a lost season, you lose another season with Chubb, you lose another season with Garrett, and I'm sick and tired of that.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Wow.
But they made their bed. Now they have to sleep.
Great
yes,
take.
they have.
So many good things I want to respond to there, but I have to be so bad. So we're going to get to the next statement.
We're using that as a Dawg Chug highlight promo.
That's great.
We're clipping that as a promo.
All right, Ross, we're going to start with you. The refs won't let the Browns be successful this season.
Oh, man, they won't? I'm sipping on it. I don't think they're really out to get us this year. Everyone's trying to point the finger at them for this last game, but that was all our fault, not running on 3rd and 2. Several of the other games was our defense failing. It really, like this year, actually, out of more than other years, the refs aren't the reason we're losing. So I'm not going to put it on them. I mean, it was really every game has been in our hands, and there really hasn't been questionable calls that blew games for us. Yeah, throughout the game, yes, but that happens with both teams throughout all 4 quarters. So, yeah, I'm sipping on it.
You know what? I'm next. I'm going to sip on it. If you leave yourself vulnerable to the referees deciding the football game, that's on you as a team. But on the other hand, the NFL hates Cleveland, and it hates the Cleveland Browns fan base because we fought them and we beat them in court and we won. And we got our team back. We got our name back. They didn't want a franchise in Cleveland. They'd rather have an expansion team, another one somewhere in fucking California. You know what I mean? And I just think that I think referees look at teams and teams that have a losing history, and they're not going to get the call. You know, they had no idea who jumped off sides or what was going on. They all get together and they're like, fuck it, it's the Browns. You know, because we're a bad team. You know, we've been playing bad football, so we're not going to get those calls. So if you leave it in the refs' hands, then that's on us for leaving it in their hands to decide our fate at the end of the game.
Love it, Bill.
Yeah, I'm gonna chug on this one too here, but I'm gonna put a qualifier on it. Roger, I agree. I think the NFL was ticked at us as fans and the fact that we took down their fax machines. I really honestly do. Yeah. But the other thing that tells me that the NFL didn't want us to have a team was the fact that when you go back and look at the Panthers and the Jaguars, they had 2 years to fill out a staff, to go ahead and get all the nice, opportunities to go watch these college players for 2 years. We had 11 months. We had 11 months to put together a team. And they said, oh, okay, you're back. Great. You got 11 months. Good luck with that. I mean, Terry Pluto did a great job with his book on that. And that's what I was looking for. I was trying to find the book here. I do think there is something. I don't believe that the NFL, especially now, because I think the NFL is really worried about all the betting going on. And I'm surprised that the NFL hasn't done like an NBA thing to say, okay, let's talk about the last 2 minutes of a game. And let's go ahead and producing what's going on here with good calls, bad calls, or whatever. I mean, if you're going to continue down this road of shoddy refereeing, and not just our games, just a lot of games. If you're going to go down this road, then I think the NFL has some issues that they really have to deal with. And if they're not going to deal with them, then I think there's going to be a real big problem here with bettors trying to figure out what's going on. But I do think that there is something. I mean, my mother has always told me, like, everybody is out to get this Cleveland team. And she's right. There is just something about that you sit there and say, it doesn't happen to any other team. It happens to us time and time again. But as Roger, as you said, we put ourselves in that position. We should be up by 3 scores. Why do we even
Yeah.
worry about having a ref? I mean, we're sitting here. We can probably argue and say we could be 6-1 right now.
Right.
We can be arguably, we can say we're 6-1 if we play smart, if we made better calls on the offensive defensive end, and we didn't have our defensive breakdowns. And if we're sitting at 6-1 right now, bring the refereeing problems on, because we're blowing teams out like the Bills.
Right. Check this book out. Or plug in Cherry Pluto.
There it is.
But it explains the whole move and everything. Everything's right in there. Pluto should sponsor us. Hey, I wrote him a letter once about John Dorsey, and I wouldn't leave him alone. He sent me this book signed by him and Joe Tate, just to leave him alone, to get me away from him. I got all his books. I love Pluto, man.
Joe Tate's he was the best.
Joe Tate was the best. Yeah.
All right. If you were going to use the game as evidence that the refs are out to get the Browns, obviously last weekend's Baltimore would be like one of your strongest cases. That was just insane. There were 3 calls that probably affected that game that were so just mind-numbingly insane. 2, I guess, fit that criteria. The Cooper touchdown, it probably could have gone either way. The point is, that gave me a lot of evidence that maybe they are out to get us. Maybe they don't want us to succeed, but I am not a conspiracy theorist, so do not believe it. I think there are other weeks that the Browns just suck. This was one where the refs didn't do a very good job. So I'm spitting. Ross.
Oh, I went first. That was good.
There you go. Yeah, I went to pee. We don't even remember. All right, one more. This one's a little different. I'm gonna ask a question. Actually, we're all gonna answer, and then we're gonna go around the horn answering. And as we answer, the other 3 people are going to either chug if they agree or spit if they disagree. Make sense?
All right.
Roger, we're gonna start with you. It's your turn. The season is about 40% complete. What is your biggest takeaway?
Well, I gave 10 of them.
Yeah, but what's your biggest one then?
But my biggest takeaway from this point is that this defense, this coordinator, they're just not on the same page. They're not playing with any heart. They're chasing guys down 5 yards downfield and making tackles. It's just the defense is just flat, man. Honestly, the offense has been doing the offense has been playing well. We're putting Jacoby Brissett in situations that he shouldn't be in, and that's to win football games. And it's on the defense. Before the season, I'm all over Twitter talking about a top 5 fucking defense. And man, was I wrong. And that's why I'm a plumber.
All right, I'm chugging on that. I like that answer.
Chugging.
Bill.
Oh boy, I'm going to try and go a little bit different way, because I agree a lot of what Roger said with the defense here. I'm going to go with I really think that the biggest takeaway for me this season has been I think Deep Podesta is the one who made this whole mastermind deal with Deshaun Watson, and I think having Kevin Stefanski have to deal with all of that fallout instead of Barry and Deep Podesta. Because if you remember the very first stuff Stefanski had to deal with.
Yep.
And I felt bad for him. I really felt bad for him, because that should have come from Barry and it should have come from Deep Podesta. And I think from that move, from that trade, it has actually started kind of a little snowball here of, wow, this has not been what we kind of anticipated. There's a high, there's a low, and I know a lot of people who have left their Brownship because of this. And so I really think right now that move has been significant in just maybe the vibe and the feel for what's going on. I mean, I would agree. I'm going to say with the defense is a big deal here, but I really think that I think Barry and Deep Podesta mastermind this. I think it was Deep Podesta who really masterminded this whole deal, and he was the one who had to sell it to Haslam. I'm just going by kind of watching especially watching Deep Podesta's interview when he did his press conference, and you watch when he said I instead of we. He said that a couple times. He said I instead of we, and so I really think that this season started on that day in March when we made that trade. And I really think that there has just been this cloud that's hovered over, kind of like Schleprock, just like what's going on here, because we have no identity. And maybe this is Stefanski, or maybe this is just how everything has started. But I really think from that get-go, from that trade, it has created a lot of questions instead of answers.
Wow.
Holy cow. That was awesomely said. We need to have this guy
I'll chug on it.
If he
Chug it.
I'm chugging on that.
I like the fire.
Everybody talks about the boss in Berea, and make no mistake about it, Paul Deep Podesta is the fucking boss right now. There's no doubt about that. He hired Stefanski. He hired Andrew Barry. He hired everybody. Depot's the boss.
And he hit the pass.
And man, everything you said, Bill. Here's Kevin Stefanski with a wife, daughters, children, and everything was dumped in his fucking lap.
Yep.
Instead of running a football team, he's got to answer for Deshaun Watson. I get exactly what you're saying. Great take.
Very, very, yeah, pretty good. All right. I'm going to, my biggest takeaway is kind of lame, but oh my goodness. The amount of, I don't think I was as active on Twitter, but like the amount of people just losing their minds and complaining and saying, I'm going to stop watching and I'm going to go mow the lawn to get my Sundays back. Like, shut the fuck up. Either watch or don't. The Browns are trying. They're doing their best. It to me, and I don't mean to say this is like an excuse, but like there could be a couple of plays that went the other way in this team. I mean, geez, I think we had field goal kicker. If he hit a couple kicks, this team could so easily be like 4-3, and then no one is bitching and no one is whining. Everyone is just like, okay, we need Deshaun Watson back. I always wanted to think the Browns fan base is one of the best in the nation. I'm kind of underwhelmed about Browns fandom lately. I know we've been hit with like just a insane shit sandwich of awful football, but like toughen up. I don't know. Like this season sucks. So what? We're going to be back next year and we should have a great path. Maybe. I don't know. Just shut the fuck up. Root for the Browns.
Yeah.
Hope the best happens.
Okay.
Here's what annoyed me this past week why I'm ranting. We were playing a game with the Baltimore Ravens. We're actually against a good quarterback. Like the last 4 losses were against like the worst quarterbacks in the league. I get that. It's frustrating. But now we're playing a good quarterback and a good football team that everyone expects to go to the playoffs. And we're like within 3 points for most of that game. And everyone was just like, I can't fucking watch this anymore. Fuck the Browns. Fuck this. Fuck the defense. Fuck that. It was so irritating to me. Like we're right there. We could come back and win this game. We didn't, which sucked. But like I was going to be annoyed if people were celebrating the win if we had managed to pull out that win, which, the refs may have played a factor. And I don't want to whine about the refs. I hate whining about the refs. Point is, I don't think we're as far off as people want to make us out to be. Could be close.
Chugging.
Yeah, we're all chugging. I chugged in the middle of that.
Well said. Well said,
I
Andy.
chugged twice on that. And you're you know what, man? I'm all the way back to Paul McDonald. I'm seasoned. You know what I mean? It's just like at some point we're this close, man, and we're gonna get there. You know what I mean? And you know what? My view of Browns fan base now is skewed because it's based solely in Twitter. And I see construction workers on the job every day that aren't even on fucking Twitter. There's thousands of people, that are Browns fans that aren't even on Twitter. So I don't, that kind of skews
that number. Is there 1,000 Browns fans that aren't on Twitter?
Probably tens of thousands.
Tens of
A lot.
thousands.
I mean, I don't know if you can make that statement. How do you know?
Oh, you're right. Oh, Elon. Are you Elon Musk?
That's why he fell through.
What did he call himself today as he walked in through the front door of Twitter? He has a new handle like Twitter. Oh shoot!
I didn't hear this.
He walked in the front door today, and he did a tweet as he was walking through. I can't remember now. Oh shoot! I gotta look that up.
Yeah.
I gotta look that
Look
up.
at it.
I bet it would have been amazing. All right. Ross, did you do
Ross.
Yeah. So here's my number one. I've been waiting for this mini rant for a while now.
Nice.
And it's because of all these damn
There we
Brown
go.
shows, all these podcasts. How many Browns podcasts are there that think they're experts? Like 50 of them. Like
3,714.
okay, 5 of them are on Network 216. So shout out to all those ones. Watch those. But anyways, athleticism does not equal talent.
Thank you.
I'm tired of these people. They're like, oh, our defense is so talented. That's how good we are. We're going to be an awesome defense. Joe Woods sucks. Well, maybe Joe Woods doesn't suck. And maybe just because you have a 40-inch vertical and you run a 4.240 doesn't mean you're talented. You're not doing the right thing. You're not using your ability. You're not following your assignments. It's like, I heard a really good analogy one time. It's like, oh, you hear about these kids that have awesome SAT scores, they get full rides to college, and then they get crappy jobs because they just want to go to school. They don't want to apply their knowledge. Well, applying your knowledge is what makes you successful. Now, that's the difference between athleticism and talent. You can be talented without being the most athletic person. And that's the problem that I see on our defense. And Joe would probably get some of the blame, but it can't be 100% of his blame. Our defense has been bad for 2.5 years with mostly the same players. So I don't know where this idea comes from that he should be amazing with this team when like half the season last year was the only time we were good on defense. Yeah, make your damn tackles. You don't have to be super talented to do that. Listen to what your coach is telling you to do. You don't have to be crazy athletic to do that. I mean, just like you don't have to be this combine freak to be really good. Well, probably to make the NFL, yes. But to separate yourself from the other NFL players, you have to be talented and execute.
And to that point, Anthony Walker was not a freak of athleticism, but he was paid very minimally, and he did the position great. And whatever. As soon as he left, our defense went horribly sideways.
Yeah.
When we added a very much more athletic Jacob Phillips, who was out of position most of the time. So, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry to hijack there a little bit.
Oh no, you're good. I was done.
Okay, I'm chugging to that.
Chugging to that. And that goes to
That was a
Bill's
chug
point. Just Andrew Berry with the defensive and how many players he's drafted and where's the payout on it?
It's funny.
He hasn't taken any scrutiny really, and he's starting to get it now though.
Yeah. I think it was Butch Davis's 4th year when it was announced that like every player that he drafted was still with the team. Andrew Berry made it 3 years. Every player he drafted was still with the team. Like that's not a good thing. Like that might mean your GM is a little egotistical and, my
Right.
guy's staying
That's
over.
why we didn't get new defensive tackles. That's for sure.
We finally got rid of LeCount, who did nothing for the Cleveland Browns. So maybe he's waking up to the fact that like you can't keep every player that you run in for whatever reason you thought he would be the right guy. It's not good when you keep every player. No,
like Anthony Schwartz.
Yeah,
He was a healthy scratch. And I think that's Kevin Stefanski saying Andrew Berry, I just can't play this fucking guy. You know what I mean? You might force him down in my throat, but he's a healthy scratch because I need the roster spot for somebody who's going to produce.
Bill brought up Delpit. I mean, he has been so bad, and he should not be maybe out there right now. Like why is he out there? I don't know.
I mean, we got him the same draft that we got Jed.
Right.
It was a high 2nd round pick, and I think we all thought we were going to get much more out of Delpit from that safety position. And and I don't want to rip on Joe Woods because I agree, Ross. I agree with you. There's a time when the players have to play. You know,
Right.
you as a coach, you put them in, and you got to play. I mean, I've coached for over 20 years, and I can get everything together, but then you got to just sit there and say, all right, play. Now, granted, I have to make sure that I get not the 11 best, but the best 11 to run my scheme.
Right.
So if Delpit is not one of those best 11, and if Ward is not one of those best 11, I mean, I've liked what I've seen from Emerson so far. I really, really have. And so with as much trouble as Ward has been having and Delpit has been having, is this a time to say, all right, maybe we give the rookie more? I don't know. There's so much here, but I mean, when you look at the draft and you say we have drafted nothing but deep, defensive backs and linebackers over the past 5 years, and what have we got from it? We've got a defense that's the 31st, well, maybe the 30th. Okay, I'll give it maybe the 30th in the NFL. That's what we've got.
And then they're talking about how Joe Woods is talking about how he's scaling it back and not making it too complicated. Well, when you're drafting these guys, the cerebral proud or the football IQ, how much of that, is he able to teach that to them? Or are they just not are able to comprehend it? And that goes to scouting, and recruiting and scouting to see what these guys, their knowledge level, what they can do. I beat the shit out of Joe Woods. The players can't run his scheme, but it's at a point, like Ross said, at some point somebody's got to make a fucking tackle.
Jess says she just feels like there is inconsistency. One play, everyone looks badass. The next play, they look like this is the first time they've ever played football. And that is so true. It's like,
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
You don't see a lot of swing and misses from like the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Like they mostly do their jobs where it's not embarrassing. Whatever. We got to maybe upgrade the talent, maybe upgrade the defense coordinator. I think it's all in play, but it's not quite where it needs to be right now. So that was an excellent edition of Spit Sip Chug.
It was.
Yeah.
Man, we chopped it up, man.
That was good.
And this is one of our longest shows in a while, man.
Yeah.
It is, man. We went late. We had a great
We're actually gonna bring on Sherry because one of the new innovations of Network 2 and 6, we have recorded ads, so we don't have to do them horribly for you. We can actually just hit a button and the ad will play. You'll have to watch it, which is whatever. But the fun part is, Sherry, welcome back to the show. We're gonna play a recorded ad, and then we're gonna bring you back on to give your rating on where you think the recorded ad was, how you think it stacks up against us.
This is from the higher ups, right? This is from the bosses, right?
She can stay on. We'll put it full screen.
Yeah, we're gonna do full screen.
All right, I'll get it going.
All right.
What's up, everybody? We know that daily fantasy never stops, and Network 216 is proud to be a partner with Underdog Fantasy. Very simple to use. All you have to do is go to underdogfantasy.com, and you will just click the sign-in button. You'll create an account if you haven't done so already. If you've not created an account, it'll ask you to enter a code. Enter code 216, and they will double your first deposit up to $100. Underdog Fantasy, live draft lobbies that you get to compete with you and your friends. It's no salary cap like DraftKings and FanDuel. You get to go to a draft lobby, pick the players you want, or you can do daily pick'ems, which give you access to all the NFL and NBA games for you to make your picks every single night. Again, go to underdogfantasy.com or use the Underdog Fantasy app on iOS or Android. Use code 216 to double your first deposit up to $100. Sign up today.
All right.
Okay.
Underdog, we love you. Sherry, what would you give that ad reading?
I'd give it about a 5 because his enthusiasm seems not so much for somebody who's going to be betting on games and winning big. And I would have liked to either see more of what's going on his camera or the screen, like being that graphic instead of having his little tiny head in the corner and then the big graphic. I'm like, one or the other.
Jerry, that's our boss.
Oh shit! He could read. That's great.
That's a step in the right direction.
Now you guys owe me an homage shirt for sure.
Homage shirt will be coming for sure. You just tell us which one you like.
Well done, Sherry. Well done.
And I guess this is my last time here. Thanks for
No, we'll sub you
We'll
on.
show him.
Yeah. We're just gonna get fired from Network 216, but that's all right. I mean, whatever. We love Network 216. We make the ad reads fun and funny and compelling. And by the way, you should go do Underdog because it is a really fun way to do fantasy daily sports.
Yeah,
Bill,
make sure you use the 216
Yeah, if your
promo
fantasy
code.
football team sucks, you still have a way to win money.
That's right.
Which is a
I
bonus.
think Sherry should go around all the 216 podcasts and grade all the homage ads.
no. Oh,
216 wide.
that would
You know what? We're gonna start recording every homage ad read, and we're gonna have Sherry come on and grade them.
That's
nitpick.
awesome.
You want me to nitpick them?
Yeah. Yes. Because we all want to get better, and you help us get better.
We're going to get called into the office tomorrow, Sherry, but don't worry about it.
We're taking back to the shed right now.
Well,
Okay, we got to do our final fun bit of the night. This is actually really fun. We're all going to make a prediction.
Looks
On
like
an
Max,
NFL
Ken's still hanging out. He could come on.
Did we get Ken on? Yeah, let's get Ken on.
Yeah, he's still hanging out.
He's
Ken,
eating, he's eating
welcome back
Skyline.
to Jug.
That's
He's got
still here.
Skyline in the fridge.
I wish. I've been
right.
enjoying it. You guys are. It's entertaining.
Oh, thank you.
Is it entertaining or have you been drinking?
But
Right. Hey, it's a combination with the Dawg Chug. Drink and you'll be entertained. That's the
I'm
way it
going to
works.
Roger's house next week.
I know. I got to get to Cuyahoga Falls. I got to find out where he lives.
I thought he
I'm gonna
lived
party
in-
with
he-
you,
he-
cowboy.
All right.
He sounds like a little Canton Maslin in him.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm over. Yeah. I'm in Akron, affluent suburb of Akron.
There you go.
Chicago Falls.
You got a little that South Canton action going on.
Kent's like 10 minutes up the street, Kent State.
Oh, there
So
you go. Stark
you-
County. Hell yeah. See a Country Fest.
Here's how this works. We're all going to pick a NFL or college game against the spread. If you need me to help you know what the spread is, I can do that for you. If all five of us get our picks right, then we're going to split up to $1,700, which we will, send to everyone 1/5 of whatever we win. So
You only need 5, right, Andy?
we need 5.
I'll sit out.
No, Roger, you're
You're
one of the
Roger.
Dog Chug.
You gotta
So
pick.
what we're gonna
You're
do is
Roger.
we're gonna have
Roger.
Sherry and Ken. They're gonna come up with a decision together.
Okay.
okay.
All right.
So we're gonna start with Bill, our guest. Do you have a game that you want to say is you're confident it's gonna win with the spread?
Well, Roger, you know where I'm going with this one. There were two things I was looking at. I was actually looking at a pro game. I thought the Pittsburgh and the Philadelphia game would be a really interesting one, the battle
Yeah.
for Pennsylvania. But I am going for the battle for Michigan. I'm looking at Michigan State. Hold on. Where's my Michigan shirt? Here he is.
Yeah.
I think Big Brother's going to take Little Brother down big time. That's what I think is going to happen. And I think this is going to be another one of the notch for Michigan to sit here and to be able to say, yeah, we're just as good as Ohio State here. And I'm picking Michigan to crush Michigan State.
All right, 21.5. I love it.
Love it.
What made you become a Michigan fan? Just curious.
So it's kind of a true story. So when I was a little kid, I'm going to be 57 this year, right? So when I was a little kid in the 70s, there was a Notre Dame Michigan football game that was on, because that was like at the time one of the few games that was actually on television, right?
Right.
And so because we had a color television, I saw the Michigan helmets. I just thought that was the
Flying
coolest
wings,
thing
baby.
to have that Wolverine kind of thing on this. I thought that was the coolest helmet I'd ever seen. So as a
Flying
kid who
wings,
was what,
baby.
like 7, 8 years old, I'm like, that is so cool. I love that helmet, right? And ever since then, I was just between that and Notre Dame. I'm not gonna lie, I was a big Notre Dame fan as a Catholic, but I tell you, I've always been a fan of Michigan, and I root for all their teams too, not just the football, because they do have some unbelievable championships that they have won over the past 3 years. And baseball,
Michigan baseball is
women's
phenomenal.
volleyball,
Hey,
and hockey.
Join us
God.
next week for Michigan Chug.
That's my pick: Michigan over Michigan State.
Bill's got to
All
go on
right.
the Scarlet. You got to go on the Scarlet and Gray podcast on
I would
Network
love
206.
to.
Do
I
it,
would
do
love
it. Let's
to.
do it.
Oh my gosh!
blue
Anytime anybody Scarlet and Gray, I'd love to come on. I'd be more than happy
arrange
to
it.
talk.
All right.
Please.
Okay, Sherry and Ken, you guys are gonna have to make a combined pick, so you can talk it over. You can yell at each other, however you want to do it.
Any college
Do you
or
want-
NFL game.
Any
College or
or
NFL? What do you want?
NFL.
All right. What do we got? I'm thinking. Who do we got? We got the Jets at the Commander. Wait, what's it go?
Hold on. You want me to give you a game?
No, the Jets are playing New England.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to
Yeah,
be a
that's a
good
good
football
game.
game, man.
And then
The Jets are-
New England. Jets are underdogs. And
Yeah.
By a point and a half.
Commanders. I'm saying the Commanders or the Jets.
I would take the Jets in the point. Yeah, that's a good pick, man.
That's a good one. That's a
Bill
good game.
decides.
What is
Jets are
that?
Commanders, Sherry.
Commanders getting points. Jets getting points. Who we taking?
Why don't we go with the Commanders?
You're kidding. No Sauce Gardner. Pick 6.
Okay, never mind. I told you you were in
You
charge.
got it, Jerry. You got it. Fight for your
Sherry,
right.
come on.
Fight
We
for
have
it.
to both agree.
I had a
Carson
different
Wentz.
I had a
Carson
different
Wentz,
game picked out in my
Carson
head
Wentz.
already.
Given
Tell
your
us who you got.
given your
Who you
game,
got?
you
I
know,
was going to do the Dolphins over the Lions.
Ooh.
Ooh.
this is interesting.
Okay.
What's the line? What's the line?
3.5, I think.
Miami is giving 3.5 to
The Lions have only not covered one game all year.
But did
Ooh,
you
where-
realize
where's
how
the game?
many home teams are the underdogs this week?
A lot?
I love that.
A lot.
Home teams
What?
getting
A
points.
lot,
A
yeah.
lot of the home
Home
teams
teams
are
getting
underdogs
points.
this week.
Take them all.
All right. So what are we doing?
Where's that game played?
It's in in Detroit.
Detroit.
Oh God, you're gonna go against Hard Knocks. Dan Campbell needs a win.
We're never going to
No.
get a pick.
We're
right.
getting away. Let's go.
Let's go with
Jets.
another. Hey,
let's
how
go
about
let's go Jets. Come on. They're
Okay.
gonna beat the living
just
shit out of them.
He's
Sherry,
right.
you
He's quartering you.
I'm cornered.
The Browns
No.
Bengals game. What do you guys think about that one?
3 points.
3.5.
We already said beers at the 100.
No, right. I think it's 4 right now. Is it 4? The
It's
Browns are getting
3.5
4.
on this site. 3.5.
3.5.
Not
Okay.
enough.
3.5.
Not enough. Not enough.
Interesting.
Sherry, you don't want to do that game.
So what's,
Jackie,
the final,
no.
what's the final pick?
All right.
Let's
what's
go
the
with the
final pick?
Jets. Sherry, let's ride with the Jets.
Okay, fine.
Let's get Roger excited. Let's get Roger
just-
excited. Come on.
You just a
Jake,
shot
let's
you
get
heard
the Jets.
the Jets. That's terrible.
The
All right,
Patriots are a mess.
All right.
They are.
I am next. I am going to go with Illinois over. Let me look what the spread is. I want to make sure. They're playing Nebraska. They're giving 7.5. I'm worried it's going to come down to a touchdown, but I'm still going to take them. Taking Illinois minus 7.5.
That's a good one. That's a good game. I forgot that Illinois was playing that.
Yeah.
And they're at Nebraska too. Ooh, Andy, you are. Oh, I want to party with you,
Andy's a
cowboy.
professional.
It's Andy's
All right.
money. We're just
They
trying to win.
They have no coach. Future Zach
True.
Taylor.
Yeah, true.
Ross.
I got San Fran over the Rams. They're favored
know,
by
that's
1.5.
gonna be-
Oh, that was
That's a
my.
good game.
that's a good
Oh,
game.
really? Oh, man.
It's pretty much a pick 'em.
Yeah.
San Fran minus 1.5. 49ers. And then Roger, what do you got?
I'm taking. Are they the Commanders or the Commodores? Washington.
Commanders.
I'm taking Washington with the 3.5 over Indy.
Oh, so they got
That's
the
what
pick
I'm
anyway.
saying. Sure, we got him. We got him either way.
No,
Okay.
he did say yes to that, and then you told her no.
No.
Yeah.
What?
No. That
What?
way Roger gets it 2-0. Sherry and I go 2-0. Now we get our own show.
Wait, that's what's on the line.
Love that.
The
Got our
Bengals
five.
judge.
Awesome.
No, we'll just take it. Sherry and Max with the points. That's what we got.
All right, and I'm just gonna say right now,
Right.
if we go 5-0, we're splitting it 6 ways because everyone contributed here.
Yep.
Everybody.
Like it.
All right.
I'll be back December 8th. And we'll
You're
party.
going to be wondering how the hell did the fucking Browns beat us again?
All right. Well, everyone tells me I suck at ending, so drink if you got them.
Pick them up if you got them.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. Go Browns.